Come to standing. Lift and roll the shoulders. Lift the feet. And then place the toes down again, reconnecting with the earth. Just press your hands on the thighs, the outer hips. Just have one hand on the abdomen, another hand on the chest, creating space in the front of the body. And then just release the hands, lift and roll the shoulders. Feel that the vertebrae are stacking one above the other, slightly lifting at the chest. And breathing in, turning the head to the left. Breathing out, turning the head to the right. Breathing in to the left. And breathing out to the right. And come to the centre. And then this is an immune booster for the lungs. Join in with me when you feel like it. Breathing in, out. Breathing in. It's an equal in and out. And last one, lift and roll the shoulders. Lift and drop one shoulder and lift and drop the other shoulder. Lift and drop and lift and drop. And then lift and drop both shoulders. Turning to the left with the head, coming to the centre, and turning to the right and coming to the centre. Breathing in, raise the right arm up. Breathing out, turn the head to the left. And stay here for an in and an out breath. And then coming with the head as you breathe in back to the centre. And breathing out, lowering the right arm. And breathing in, raising the left arm. Breathing out, turning to the right. Stay here for an in and an out breath. Breathing in, come back to the centre. And breathing out, lower the left arm. Lift and roll the shoulders. And then bringing very peculiarly the hands into a fist under the arms. Feel that you can make any adjustments, this is odd, and targets the middle lungs. Breathing in and out. Equal breaths in and out. Last one, and release. Breathing in, turning the head to the left. Breathing out, turn the head to the right. In to the left. And out to the right. And coming back to the centre. Breathing in, raising both hands up, clasp, and reverse the hands, palms up to the ceiling. And just turn slightly to the left, perhaps going in and out. Come back to the centre and turn slightly to the right, just coming in and out, and coming back to the centre. Lower the hands to shoulder height. If that's too strong under the arms, bend the elbows and turn the head to the left, come to the centre and turn the head to the right and come to the centre. Lower the arms alongside you and once more lift and roll the shoulders. Hands on the waist and testing our balance by lifting the heels. And then very gently lowering the heels and carrying on to soften the knees and feel the abdominal muscles engage. And then breathing in, coming to standing. And gently lower the hands, lift and roll the shoulders. Clasping the hands behind you, knuckles aim to the floor, opening the shoulders and lifting the hands slightly away from you. Turning to the left, coming to the centre and turning to the right and coming to the centre and release the hands. Circle the hands up and circle the hands down. And again, circling up and circling down. For anyone who's been working with their hands a lot, thinking of cutting out silhouettes, Patsy, just take your right hand to your left thumb and gently pull each finger, thumb, third finger, fourth finger and little finger, and then shake the left hand out. And then taking the left hand to the right thumb, just pulling each finger in turn and then just shaking out. And then just lightly touching the collarbone, elbows together. You don't have to keep the elbows together, but circling the elbows up and round. Aim the elbows together, but trying to get them together is easier said than done. So you'll feel this under the arms, the upper lymphatic system, but also across the upper back. And then elbows together as you reverse your circle. And then just release and drop the hands. Feet hip width apart. And holding an imaginary ball, this balances the pelvis as you lead with the top elbow, turning, in my case, to the left, it doesn't matter. And then reverse your ball, the hand reverse, and you lead with the elbow, the upper elbow to the other side. Turn and reverse. You'll feel the balance. You can lift your heels as well, that's optional. As you just shift the weight from side to side. And very gently come back to the centre. And release your hands, lifting and rolling the shoulders. Breathing in, turning the head to the left. And breathing out, turning the head to the right. and coming back to the centre. And just opening your arms, come to hug yourself, coming slightly forward with the head as an option, you don't have to, and just gently, slightly sway from side to side. And opening your arms out, coming to hug the other side, the other arm on top. And then open the arms again, and this very familiar flying. So you're actually moving all the joints as you bend the knees, connecting to the earth. Coordinating the movement of your breath, inhaling, lifting the arms, and breathing out, lowering the arms. And then come to standing, lift and roll the shoulders. Bring the hands together at the heart centre, and then come to a seated position. Cross-legged is fine. If your knees are playing up, then you can have your legs out in front. Lifting and rolling the shoulders once you're down. And then just sliding the left hand to the left. Raising the right hand, you can bend the right elbow, tummy in, and just reaching over. Try and keep your right buttock connected to the ground to get a greater stretch. Tummy in as you come upright. Connect the right fingertips to the ground and slide the right hand to the right. As you bend perhaps the left elbow, or just stretch over chin to chest and come over to the other side. Tummy in. Press your right hand down to support you as you come upright. Hands either side of you, and feel the length from the tailbone to the top of the head as you just lengthen forward slightly. It's a very subtle forward bend. And then coming gently back to upright. And placing perhaps the left hand at the chest, it doesn't really matter. The right hand at the navel, if you've altered that, that's fine. And just connecting to the breath. Imagining a gold or silver thread connecting your hands. And the thread is not kinked, it's not taut either, but it's just lightly straight. Connecting to the breath. And then either keeping the hands here or lowering the hands to the knees. Breathing in through the nose, but breathing out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And do this a few more times in your own breath pattern. Increasing your nitric oxide. And then very gently come to lying on the mat. And come with your knees bent, your feet hip width apart. Hands either palms down alongside you or hands resting on the abdomen. And when you're there, just very gently let the head turn to one direction, the left perhaps. Taking an in and an out breath here. And then let the head come back to the centre and let the head gently turn to the other side. And staying here for an in and an out breath. Come with the head back to the centre. Feet are hip width apart or wider. And very gently let both knees travel to one side. Your opposite hip will lift slightly. Bringing both knees back to the centre. And as you breathe out, let both knees travel to the other side, lifting the opposite hip off the ground. Bring the knees back to the centre. And just very gently let the knees drift from side to side. You can take the time to rest to one side for a couple of breaths if you'd like. Or just coordinate the movement of the knees to the breath. And as you're establishing your pattern, you can equally turn the head away from the direction of the knees. It's an optional movement. And notice that as you're going from side to side, the bottom is being massaged and it's over a meridian point called GB30, which connects into the gallbladder. So it's a very satisfying massage across the bottom. And then gently come to the centre with your knees and make any adjustments that you feel you'd like to. Keeping the right foot on the floor, hug the left knee into the chest. And then breathing in, gently extend the left foot to the ceiling and extend the left heel as you raise the arms above you or above and behind you. And breathing out, lower the leg, or hug the leg back into the knee into the chest and lower the arms. So you're hugging your knee, your left knee back into the chest. And breathing in once more, extend the left foot, left sole to the ceiling, arms up behind you, extend the left heel. And breathing out, lower the arms and hug the left knee back into the chest. And do this a couple of times in your own breath pattern. Checking that the back of the neck is long. And then finish by hugging the left knee into the chest. And very gently replacing the left foot onto the floor. Just let both knees sway once more from side to side. Hands can be palms down or resting on the abdomen. And then keeping the left foot on the floor. but make any adjustments you need to, hugging the right knee into the chest. For a couple of breaths. And then very gently, as you next breathe in, raise the right leg to the ceiling, sole of the feet to the ceiling, arms up and behind you. And breathing out, lower the arms and hug the right knee into the chest. And just do this a couple of times in your own breath pattern. And finish by hugging the right knee into the chest. And then let the left knee join it, hugging both knees into the chest. And just very gently rock from side to side. And then placing one foot and then the other foot on the ground. And feet are hip width apart, knees are up to the ceiling. And breathing in, raise both arms above you. You can bend your elbows so that you're holding the elbows just for a moment. Check that the neck is long. And just enjoy having the hands, the arms, the elbows above you, stretching out under the arms. And then just slide the hands apart so that you place the palms of the hands under the head. The elbows are out to the side like wings. Again, if you're finding this is too strong under the arms, then just bring the elbows slightly closer together. Breathing out, flatten the back to the ground and lift your head a few inches off the ground. When the tummy starts to dome, you've gone far enough or too far, and then just relaxing the head back down to the floor, opening the elbows out. And just take an in and an out breath here to relax. And then breathing out once more, flatten the back to the ground, lifting the head. The elbows might come together, and then just relax back down. And next time you breathe out and lift up, you might like to just move slightly the elbows over to the left. Chin will come more into the chest. You're aiming the elbows towards the left knee, and then just breathing out and coming back down. And take an in and an out breath to recover. And then breathing out, flatten the back, lifting up. The elbows come slightly together and you're almost lifting up your left shoulder to come over to the right, towards your right knee. And then releasing and relaxing back down again. Take a recovery breath. And then slide your hands down. Your knees are still bent, the feet are hip width apart. And we're going to come into a variation of bridge. So perhaps bring the heels fractionally closer to the bottom. Just practice a couple of pelvic tilts. So that's flattening the back to the ground as if you're going to lift the bottom off the floor. And then press the feet down Lift the bottom a little bit or a lot off the floor and gradually raise the arms. They can be bent at the elbows, up above you and behind, chin to chest. And then breathing out, lower the back down to the ground and the bottom. The hands should follow. And then hugging both knees into the chest. Soles of the feet towards the ceiling in a V, palms together. And just look at your thumbs, your palms together. Bend the knees back into the chest. And then soles of the feet back down onto the ground. Palms down onto the ground. And take an in and an out breath. And again, flatten the back to the ground. Press down with your feet, lift the bottom, roll your arms up above you, stretching out under the arms. And then breathing out, lower the back and the bottom towards the ground. The arms will follow about halfway through your breath. On the bottom is connected to the ground. Hug the knees into the chest. Soles of the feet to the ceiling. In an inverted V, and palms together through that V, looking at your thumbs. Bend the knees into the chest, and then gently place the feet back onto the ground. And just very gently let both knees sway once more from side to side. Bring the knees back to the center. Hug the left knee into the chest. Open the left knee to the left and place the left ankle on top of your right thigh. Hands can either be on the abdomen or palms down alongside you. As you very gently sway both knees in the same direction from side to side. Massaging across the bottom area, lower back, but also opening out on the left side, both the lymphatic area, but also your piriformis little muscle on the outside of the hip, which can be so implicated in lower back issues. So it's like a figure of four. It's an upside down bridge, pigeon posture. And then just very gently come to knees back to the centre, hug the left knee into the chest. Just circle your left ankle a couple of times in one direction, and then circle the ankle a couple of times in the other direction. And then supporting the left leg or the left knee, place the left foot back down onto the floor. Just let the knees sway a couple of times from side to side. And then hugging the right knee into the chest. Just enjoying the Apanasana movement. Opening the right knee to the right. Resting the right ankle on the left thigh. Palms down or on the abdomen as you gently sway the knees from side to side. And then hugging the right knee into the chest. And before you place it down, just circle the right ankle a couple of times in one direction. And then circle the right ankle a couple of times in the other direction. And then placing the right foot on the floor. Once more, palms down or palms on the abdomen, just sway the knees from side to side. And then placing the hands on the chest, perhaps above the chest, knees centrally, breathing in, just opening the hands to the side, the elbows stay on the ground, and breathing out, bringing the hands back to the chest. And again, as you breathe in, just opening the fingers to the side, and breathing out, just bring the hands back to the chest. And one last time, opening the hands out to the side, and breathing out, bringing the hands back to the chest. Then hugging one knee and the other knee into the chest. And just enjoying this classic Apanasana. Let both knees drift to arm's length. And breathing out, hug both knees into the chest. If you want to focus more on the core, you can let your tummy or stomach muscles do the work, which means less pressure of the hands on the knees. But you're equally welcome to have the comfort of hugging the knees into the chest too, if that feels nice. And in your own breath pattern, just holding the knees as you let them drift away from you to arm's length, and breathing out, hugging the knees back into the chest. And then however you would like to do this, we're going to roll to the side or come up, and we're going to be coming to kneeling on all fours. So classically you would roll to the right away from your heart, and then come gently and gradually onto your knees on all fours in tabletop. Take your time. And hands are hip width apart, hands are shoulder width apart, knees are hip width apart. And again, just very classic, breathing in, dipping the back, either looking up or along the mat. Breathing out, rounding the back, chin to chest. And just a couple of times in your own breath pattern, breathing in and rounding the back, breathing out. The next time that you round your back, come to bring your bottom towards your heels in an extended child's pose. And then breathing in, have a sense of leading from your chest as you dip your back and come through to all fours. Breathing out, round the back. Bottom goes towards the heels. And then as you breathe in, lead from the chest. The head obviously is leading too. As you dip your back and come through to your hands. And then rounding the back again. Bottom towards the heels. Leading with the chest as you dip your back and come through. On all fours, then slide your hands towards you, towards your knees, as you kneel up, raising the arms above you, and then breathing out, lower your arms back down to tabletop. And then bringing your hands as your bottom slightly goes towards your heels. tracing your fingers towards your knees as you kneel up high, raising the arms gently up above you, and then breathing out, bending the knees, bringing the hands back to tabletop. Staying tabletop and just lifting the right arm up slightly, bringing the right hand behind the left hand so it's threading the needle. You're coming onto your right shoulder and the right side of the head is on the ground. Your left hand can be stretching out to the edge of the mat and just take an in and an out breath. You can slide your head towards the front of the mat, which makes a softer movement and stretches out the right side. Tummy in to come back to all fours. Just sway the bottom from side to side. And then just gently lift the left arm, not a lot, but just left arm, palm of the left hand up facing you as you slide the left hand through to come onto the left shoulder and the left side of the head. The right hand can stay where it is or just move the right hand up towards the corner of the mat. It's threading the needle, bottom is up to the sky on the left side and feeling the stretch on the left side. Tummy in, press the right hand down to gently bring you up once more to all fours. And then very gently come to being on your elbows, bottom up into the air. Just sway your bottom from side to side. And then come very, very gently to Sphinx pose. So staying on your elbows, coming to lying on the ground. Just adjust your elbows to be comfortable. And looking either down or along the mat, again, depending what works for you. You can have your toes flat or you can have them tucked underneath, further opening your lung meridians. And wherever you are, you can just wobble your bottom slightly from side to side. Jelly wobble, or sacroiliac stabilizer, SIS. In yin yoga, for instance, you would stay here for between 3 and 5 minutes. It's a back bend and it lifts you also at the chest, so it's quite uplifting for the mood, although lying here on the tummy doesn't feel like a back bend. And then open the elbows to the side, and perhaps make fists with your hands or just have the backs of your hands one on top of each other and rest your forehead on your hands or turn your head to the side. Open your knees a little bit wider than hip width apart and bend your feet so that you're making a windscreen wiper movement, moving slightly from side to side. Strangely, this is quite opening for the front of the pelvis. So the restful position. If you've turned your head to the side, you might like to turn your head to the other side just to balance the neck out. And then very gently lower the feet down to the ground. Bring the knees slightly closer together. And then we're going to come up to a seated position, but you can either do that classically by bringing the hands back to the chest, elbows in and press down to come back to kneeling and then seated, Or you can roll to the side and bend your knees up and come up that way, whichever way suits you. Come to a cross-legged position. Hands on the knees. And just very gently bring the left hand to the right knee, right hand behind, and just a very gentle turn to the right. Leading, the head's the last thing to turn, so just slightly placing the right fingers down to lengthen the spine and breathing out, turn to the right. Very gently coming back to the centre, holding your shins or your knees just slightly lengthen forward, feeling the length from the tailbone to the top of the head. It's a nod forward. Coming back to upright, and then the right hand goes to the left knee, left hand behind you, left fingers behind you, breathing in, lengthening the body, and breathing out, turning slightly to the left. This particular turn works on the navel area, which works on the samana energy. Each chakra has its own individual turn, believe it or not. And this is probably a very well-known term, but samana energy is equal balance, so it's an equalising energy within the energy bodies. And then breathing back, come to the centre, and once more, you can keep your hands where they are, or just lightly bring your fingertips in front of you to lengthen the body from the tailbone to the top of the head. It's a nod to coming forward. And then breathing to walk your hands back. Open the palms upwards onto your knees and imagine your favourite flower in each hand. So if you want a yogic thought, it's the lotus flower, but any flower. And as you breathe in, open your left-hand flower. The petals unfurl open a little bit. And as you breathe out, the fingers come together. Perhaps your thumb might touch your fingers, but come in the direction of the fingers. Breathing in, your right-hand flowers unfurl. And breathing out, the fingers of your right hand just close slightly together. And carry on breathing, opening your left hand as you breathe in and closing your left hand as you breathe out. Opening your right hand as you breathe in and letting the right fingers just gently come together. And just take a few breaths in your own time, opening and closing your flower. The back of the neck is long. Your chin is either parallel to the ground or subtly engaged down. Working on the nervous system should be calming down. And then make the next breath the last breath. Gently release the movement of the hands. Let your flowers float away. And then bringing the hands to the chest, chin slightly down as an option. Breathing in, once more opening the hands out. Breathing out, bringing the hands together at the heart center, chin slightly down. Breathing in, opening out. Breathing out, bringing the hands back to the chest, chin slightly down. And as you open your hands again, this time take a bow for yourself, chin to chest. have a very lovely day ahead, and thank you for joining me today. I'm going to gong the gong.